broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, welcome. We're here at AfterBuzz on the AfterBuzz After Show for Killjoys. I'm your host, Yael Teagle. If you have not already gone to youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV, hit subscribe. Also, we're on iTunes and SoundCloud. Why don't my co-hosts tell us who they are?
My name is Steve Lemieux. Yael's mic is also still muted, so...
That's cool. I'm loud enough.
Well, guys, I'm Zach Wilson. Thanks for tuning into the after show. We have a glitch in the system.
I guess we do.
That we're sending in our nanobots to fight the other anti-microphone nanobots that are wreaking havoc on Yael's microphone at the moment. But I assure you, we are working on it. Thank you for tuning in. We're talking about episode 104? 5? I can't even keep track.
5.
It was such an awesome episode that I lost track of the numbers.
There's a glitch in your system.
I hate being muted. I can't. I want to join the conversation. That's not happening. Let's play with my mic. I'll just talk loudly. Y'all can hear me. This episode was a lot of fun. I really liked it. I'm just gonna stand here like this because it's pretty. Steven's
so we're gonna send Steven Lemieux to dissect this issue.
But let's talk a little bit about. Oh, let's just take that this way. Want to pass it this way? Will it reach?
No.
All right. I'll just shout.
Sorry, guys. Well, we are not in the future here. But yeah, I mean, what did you think of?
What did I think of this episode? Yeah. I really liked it. I like that we had... Oh, there I am. Hey, guys. I'll stop shouting now. I really liked that we had one story this week, whereas usually everybody's separated. I like that we had this one throughout story.
Yeah, there wasn't really... I mean, there wasn't really much of a BC storyline. It was just sort of everybody went off in their own direction.
Yeah.
Which, you're right, that's nice, because they're more of a team in this episode than they have been previously.
Yeah, and I want to bring up that previously we talked about who would be the fourth team member, and we want to have someone join them, and the fans were real mad at us because they were like... I was
really hoping it was going to be Logan.
No, everyone was like, Lucy is clearly the fourth team member, and I feel like this episode kind of solidified that. Also, #juicy, like that's really a thing.
Jalen Jackson in the chat was like, this episode was juicy.
Yeah, it was. No, that's like a real thing now. I mean, we even like addressed it in the episode that Lucy cares for Johnny more than anyone else, and Dutch is not having it.
It's like flashbacks of the Futurama episode where Bender starts dating the ship.
Yeah, it's a great episode. Let's jump into the storyline. They follow a beacon to an abandoned cargo ship, which turns out not to be a cargo ship.
Sounds juicy.
Yeah, no, you missed it. You missed the juicy boat.
I'm going to say it many times to make up for that.
Okay. So we enter the ship with a claim and clear warrant, which means that they can claim anything on this abandoned ship, which... I don't know. I feel like that's a weird thing that bounty hunters have the right to do that, especially because I feel like that's a thing that thieves or pirates do.
Hey, it's just called looting. Okay?
Right.
Well, that's the thing. If a regular just citizen does it,
it's looting.
But if you are a licensed bounty hunter, it's reclamation.
Hey, they're members of RAC, which is a reclamation agency.
That's true.
Charter.
I mean,
that's not the correct
acquisition.
I guess this is an interesting question, though, about just the way that it answers a question about the way that the whole quad is set up.
Yeah.
Is that so? If you think of each moon and the planet as like a different country, in a sense, the space in between would, in theory, be international waters. But this says that the space in between these planets in this system is all still under the law of the quad.
Interesting. Was this inside the system? I thought they left the system.
I don't
but
think
may
there'd be
have
a
been
point in them leaving the system.
I thought it was in the system, but it was like not
Between planets.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
There's an asteroid belt.
Off the beaten path,
Yeah.
but still in the system.
But I like what you're saying about the international water laws, applying that to space and how the laws still apply, which is interesting.
Well, because it's something you have to consider, especially you think about the way that we deal with it, in real life,
Right.
the moon and Mars, and it's there's sort of no one really knows what's going to happen once we are able to colonize those territory, those
Right.
places as territories. No country can really claim the moon
Why?
yet.
I'm going to say, not to get
Until-
way off topic, but I disagree. I feel like it'll be the same way they claimed land on the planet Earth.
Well,
You
exactly,
show
but
up
then,
and put a flag,
so if
and then
two
wars.
countries get up there, are we going to have a war on the moon?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
you hypothetically could when people, if there becomes a time when there's resources on the moon, there's going to be a war for those resources.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a race. Let's say we find out that there's a new energy that you can make only on the moon.
Yeah.
You're going to have governments racing to get there, and the first person to get there is not going to be able to claim it because every other government's still going to want it.
Right.
Prediction right now, 2017. No, not 2017. That's way too close.
Yeah, it's
2075.
there you go.
The Great Helium Wars of Lunar 1.
Well, I would really like to win this war. All right, back on topic.
Yeah, I love your predictions. So we get to this ship. It's not a cargo ship, and there seems to be something's not right. That we have interference with the comms. Lucy decides to leave and quarantine herself. So great. I love it. Bless you.
I mean, what is it that she's
Bless
sensing
you.
exactly?
I don't think that she was. So I know they said that she sent something and left. I think that the ship sent her some sort of signal that told her, that you have to go or you have to quarantine or something.
I think it's more than that. I think there's artificial intelligences, and I think you can tell when something's off with somebody. I think it's the same way. Lucy's AI detected that this, because obviously it's a military black label
Black Ops.
Black Ops ship.
Yeah.
They would have an AI on that.
Right.
The interrogation Lucy sensed something was off. It's like being around somebody they've killed somebody. It's like you get an odd feeling like there's something off about this person.
I told you I never killed anyone.
I wasn't talking about you.
This just got uncomfortable.
He's not even level 4. He shouldn't be killing people.
Seriously, Zach.
But I mean, well, the thing is, the episode did sort of play it at that moment as if there was a toxin in the air
Right.
that she was sensing, and it's like, I can't get a virus. I'm gonna leave.
Well, even the toxin in the air could have been the nanobots that she was
Right.
sensing.
It's possible.
Oh, I love that we had nanobots. It's not quality sci-fi without nanites, nanobots, nanogenes, whatever you want to call them. Little biogenetic robots. Love it.
It's a natural place to go because we're already starting to see that technology,
Yeah.
and if you expand on the idea of what nanites can do, it can go anywhere. I don't think I've ever. This was I loved the use of it in this episode because I don't think I've ever seen nanobots or nanites used as a torture device before. That's new.
It's very clever.
So
I
are we
love
cutting
it.
right to where the torture is?
Yeah, we're cutting to the good stuff.
So I understood what was going on. When he inhaled the smoke, I'm like, okay, so it's probably just going to make him hurt on the inside and it's going to cause him pain.
Yeah.
When it started showing it disassembling his flesh, though, I was like, holy crap. Holy crap. And then we see the video of targeting region, ocular region.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my God. Oh,
It was disgusting and awesome.
horrifying. That was brilliantly horrifying.
Yeah.
It's the high-tech version of flaying somebody alive.
It's the
Thank you
high-tech
for that image in my head now.
It's the high-tech brazen bull. These people come up with this technology, and they're out there trying to interrogate people, and then they all end up interrogated themselves.
Yeah.
Ramsay Snow would love these nanites.
He could eat this. He could cut off the sausage and grow it back.
That's true.
Game of Thrones reference.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Commencing
You have to
region.
go
Yeah,
through
yeah,
it
groin,
over
groin.
and
Oh my
over
God.
again.
I just think it's such a clever use of these nanites because we have seen them on so many different sci-fi shows. You see them on. I know everyone's sick of me always referencing Doctor Who, but yeah, I love it. We've seen it on Doctor Who. We've seen it on Revolution. We've seen it on. I'm pretty sure every show on Sci-Fi.
It's a popular sci-fi trope at this point.
this is
to
so new.
Yeah, it's a way of using it I've never seen before, and that's tough to do do in science fiction
Yeah.
because so many people have tried different things.
Yeah.
I gotta say though, like, if they had that technology, wouldn't they just have a ship that's full of people that are constantly being monitored by the ship and have already inhaled the smokes? They could all just be kept alive.
I mean, I think that would be if like this ship hadn't failed itself and had a glitch and had a problem. I think that it would have been the next step. They put people on a ship and do this, but I think that this ship, because we have this, there was some accident that happened that made Hogan kind of lose his mind, but also now the ship doesn't know how to stop it and it's on loop, and we have this interrogation problem happening. I think that's why they couldn't do the everybody has it and everybody's safe thing.
I totally would have, if I was in like the position of those doctors, I'd totally like create an electromagnet and just wipe out all the nanodes.
Oh yeah, magnets.
Yeah.
Well, but that's assuming
Freaking
that
magnets, how do they work?
that's assuming that the nanites are made of metal.
Even
Yeah.
then, EMP, like... just-
But again, you're assuming this is the thing is like we don't know the technology behind this. You're assuming that it runs on that kind of electrical system. You're assuming that it runs on metal. It could very well run on it could be designed with a bioorganic substance of some kind. It's the future. It could be anything.
So
That said,
obviously they have green showers on Lucy that can get rid of them. So why doesn't the ship that have the nanodes on it have a shower that lets you get rid of them?
Well, so
It doesn't need to.
I think the
True.
doctors that came up with it, I think they came up with it, and they would have gotten to the point of coming up with the cure, the problem solver. But we have this glitch that ruins everything.
It's like a solar flare that sets off everything.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, the big thing that I took is that the doctors on this ship. So correct me if I got this wrong at all, but the doctors on the ship were creating this as the cure-all. Like, this is a great boon for medicine. Like, we can use this technology to cure people, to fix people. And then it was the army went, we can use this for torture.
Hell yeah.
I believe it was a mix of both, because it was a ship. It was a military ship.
Yeah, but I mean, the doctors didn't know that it was going to be used for that, and the army basically saw this amazing technology that could be used to save lives, and they turned it.
And they made a genius. I mean, as awful as it was, the enhanced interrogation was, they implement the nanites with the smoke. Then there's the questioning. Then there's persuasion, and then there's reconstruction, which is, the worst type of torture ever.
That continues on forever.
That continues on forever, because once you get to the question that no one knows the answer to about the Red 17,
I actually have the answer.
speak.
Red 17 is a certified oil-soluble cosmetic color used in cosmetic products such as creams, lotions, gel, hair product, bath products, and soaps to produce a yellowish red. Small quantities are required since it's very concentrated.
Right.
Wrong,
I'm sure that's
Steven.
it.
Red 17 was one of the pilots that took on the Death Star from the Red Squadron in A New Hope.
Wrong again, Zach. Red 17 is the fourth son of Red 13 from Final Fantasy VII.
You guys done?
Yeah, I know.
Because
That was all I had.
you're both wrong, and now initiating persuasion.
On what region?
All of it.
No!
This is why I couldn't be that computer. I wouldn't pick us. I'm like, why small?
The computer would have made a little roulette wheel. Let's see where it's
Yeah.
gonna land.
I mean, it was a really awful thing, but it was also really interesting.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it didn't just jump. It's all right, well, let's just make this the worst. Genital region initiating.
I thought they would do that, but they didn't. I do want to state kind of a prediction here.
Okay.
Not really a prediction, but I see foreshadowing in Logan's relationship with the ship.
Logan's relationship with the ship.
Logan's the guy who was the crazy...
Hogan?
Hogan.
I was like, who's Logan?
Got it. Hogan's relationship with the ship.
With the ship that they're on.
With the
Imperial Marines of the United Republic ship.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you realize that the ship was keeping him alive.
Yes.
The ship was helping him, and he was the lone guard of the interrogation room.
Right.
So he spent a lot of time with that interrogation computer. It's obviously an AI.
Mm-hmm.
So he is allowed out of it.
Right.
He says the ship eventually just took my answer and let me out.
Right.
That shows the ship caring for him, just like when Dutch gets back on Lucy, the ship stopped taking no for an answer and lets her on the ship and overrides its prerogatives for
Right.
someone it cares about. I think the ship was in love with him, and the only people they could talk about, the ship was the only person he would talk about. And then it probably interrogated him to a point where he was open to being not really in a relationship, but more like the only person he trusted was the ship. And that's where he was broken. And now we look at Johnny, his relationship with Lucy.
Yeah.
This could be a little bit of foreshadowing to something bad happening between their relationship, which pushes
Interesting.
which has Lucy maybe gets a glitch, pushing Johnny away from the other people, or having jealousy and things like that.
It does definitely leave a lot of potential. I mean, the classic AI storyline, like
Yeah.
AI goes nuts, it could be fun, like when your ship goes nuts, like it's HAL 9000, but what
Yeah.
happens when
It's a ex-girlfriend.
or the ship just like has emotions about you?
Interesting.
That could be really cool.
That could be really fun. I like that you're seeing the parallels there. That's really interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of the just like back to the Red 17 for
Yeah.
a second. Friend of the show, Henry Otero. Hank Otero,
Hey,
Hank 09, if you
Hello,
will.
Hank.
He's in the chat roll with us, and he said that the writer of this episode said that Red 17 is a mystery. So I guess ongoing mystery. Yeah.
I have a theory. So when Dutch gets caught, air quotes on that for those listening, and she's in the interrogation box, and she, before she saves the day, she says to Hogan, I know about Red 17. Now, it's possible that she said that just to get him close enough to the bomb, but it's also possible that she actually knows.
She doesn't know.
I mean,
completely improbable. It's completely impossible that she knows. Honestly, I'm gonna just tell you right now, like, there's no way she knows.
Well, but here's the thing: the
red box.
the red box and Red 17. That seems like there's a connection there. Maybe she doesn't know the reference necessarily, what Red 17 is. But I believe that she is connected to whatever it is.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree that she's connected to it, but let's say what the ship was the military, right?
Right.
And is the military with the company or with the RAC?
Military is with neither. They're the military.
Yeah, the militaries would be with the government.
Then wouldn't it make the most sense if perhaps she's part of Red 17 without knowing it?
Right, that's what I was thinking.
And Red 17 is something the military really wants to find out about because it's the company's war against them.
Yeah.
It's the company basically controls Red 17, which is their black ops assassins.
Right. That was my thought as well.
Who does Klein work for?
We don't know.
Okay,
We don't know.
so I think that Red 17 is Klein. I think they are the same thing.
I think Klein runs Red 17.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. However, they're
Which
connected,
may
or
have been
or maybe she is one of
the
Red 17.
That's
Like
what I was
they have
thinking.
17 high level assassins spread out throughout the quad in different roles, in different settings, so that they can activate them as needed. And I think you're right. I think she could very easily know what that means.
I don't know if she necessarily knows or if she put together the idea, because she, we see that room, I'm calling it the conspiracy room, where they have all the the different faces of the people on the ship, and the lines drawn and Red 17 written, and what is it, and all the, it looks like a conspiracy board. And I think because she looked at that, she may have put it together.
I don't think she has enough information to do that.
I think she's badass enough.
I mean, I'm not going to say it's not true. I don't think she knew what it was. I think it's going to be a realization. I think this is the 5th episode.
Right. You were saying.
I was saying that we were going to get the overarching story, kind of, at least we got a hint. I really think Red 17 is going to be a big part of this season.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this was our introduction to the military. Because this was a very military-based episode.
Yeah.
We have DeAvin saying that the military was the one who made him kill his own thing. We don't know if the military did it, but he was in the military and he ended up killing his own people.
Right.
And now we have Red 17, which the military really wants to find out about. So much so that they'll have like a smoke inhalation weed shop that travels in space and makes people tear themselves up from the inside.
I mean, it actually is stationed in space and just draws people to. It's really a lazy shop.
No. It's not. That wasn't.
I know.
But yeah, so they have. That's not going to be the only ship.
Right.
It's obviously not their only interrogation ship.
Yeah, I guess I could see the nanite interrogation torture device coming back on another ship later on in the season, right towards the end. it could easily come back and be. It's just such an extreme torture.
And it's. I think if we do see it again, we'll see it working properly and see how it's supposed to work, as opposed to this loop version.
I mean, I think what we'll see is right now we saw a character damaged by it.
Yeah.
We've never seen somebody completely broken by it. I think it's going to be interesting if they have to save somebody and they go in and save them from an interrogation chamber and nothing's left in their mind. Because, I mean, if you leave somebody to be murdered or to be disintegrated and regenerated over and over again, the pain will rip your mind away.
Yeah, the brain will eventually just shut itself down. Unless the nanites are that good and they keep it going. Like, have the ability to repair. I mean, this is a world where they have implants that are able to block his memory.
But the nanites didn't fix that.
No, but they did fix the scar tissue in his brain.
Because they didn't disassemble the machines. They're probably programmed not to take apart anything that's in there, because that would. If the military is putting in these blockers for whatever reason, they're not going to want their nanites to take apart their own blockers.
Right.
But they repaired the scar tissue around them. They effectively, another Futurama reference, they're the worms from Futurama.
So what was the name of the doctor? Dr. Pym?
No, the doctor that Davin's looking for?
That's Ant-Man.
Was Dr. Yeager.
Yeager. So...
I know it was Pym Yeager.
It was Pym Yeager.
Oh, you're right.
Dr. Yeagerbaum.
I just saw Ant-Man. It's my head.
Dr. Pym. Wrong, Dr. Pym.
So, what seems likely to me is that D'Avin was he was loyal to the military.
Yeah.
I feel like somebody did that to him, like a military doctor was an insider for the Red 17. D'Avin could have been the red box for somebody else.
Interesting.
Oh, if he's blocked, they've blocked that entire. We saw 3 blockers in there.
3 blockers in his brain.
If they blocked like a whole section of his memory, like what if him and Dutch like go way back?
I don't think it's Dutch.
No,
because she would know.
But like, wouldn't if that was true, wouldn't Johnny know about like this period of time where his brother just wasn't there?
No, because his brother disappeared for like 9 years. Remember?
Disappeared for 8 years.
His brother wasn't there.
But that was recently, not as a kid.
Yeah,
and
the blockers are from recent.
The blockers.
Yeah, but what I mean is, Dutch was trained as a small child.
No, I'm not. I don't think it was Dutch.
No, Dutch can't have been involved.
I think there's these. If we're going with the theory that there's 17 assassins, red boxes, and they're called the Red 17 because the only thing left is blood. I don't know, because it's red. Whatever.
Or because the box is red.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, I just think Klein really likes red things because he also brings the hand wrapped in red.
So if we're gonna say that the Red 17 is that, then the best way for the story to go from a writer's standpoint is to put Dutch against somebody else from the Red 17. And I think the best way to do that is to have them find out that it was a member of the Red 17 that was the one who did that to D'Avin. She still does not know she's a member.
Right.
And then when she finds out, she is at the conundrum of she can let D'Avin know this.
Yeah.
She can let D'Avin know who it is, but at what cost will expelling that information bring her from the Red 17?
I love that you both look at the show from a writer's perspective, because it is such a different perspective, and I think that it's such an interesting addition to the show, and I love that you guys do that.
I could totally see a moment where like what's blocked is he opens up a red box and it just says your whole squad. Or like something.
He's part of the Red 17.
I mean,
it's possible.
It is possible.
I mean, can we talk about D'Avin and his whole murdering all of his friends?
All right, before we get into that, I want to take a moment to thank our fans because we have so much more to talk about. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate everyone who's watching live, especially people watching live and dealing with our technical glitches. We appreciate you being here, and everyone on iTunes. That's right, we are available on iTunes for free for you to download and stream at any time. If you hit subscribe, and then you don't even have to think about it when we have a new episode, we just just send you a thing that says, hey, there's a new episode, check it out. And we ask you to do very simple things for us. Go onto iTunes, hit rate and review, and give us a 5-star rating. That's right. You like us, we're amazing, 5 stars. You don't like us, we're still amazing, hit 4 stars. I promise the other buttons don't work. Don't worry about it. And leave a comment. Let us know what we're doing well, what we could be doing better, and what you want to see, what your predictions are. And you get a shout out right here on the show. Take it away, Zach.
One updated review from Lanavis.
Hey, Lanavis.
Or Lanavis, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it.
That's okay.
This week on Killjoys versus the Unkilled Joy. They gave us 5 stars.
Of course.
I can't tell the gender on the internet.
I believe it's a female.
Guessing.
I believe. I could be wrong.
Yeah. But they said, Yell is right, juicy is meant to be. They said, I just hope that Lucy one day gets her own body so her and Johnny can truly get juicy together.
Oh my god.
That was beautifully said.
And there's the long review, but the thought that the promo suggested zombies, and I think there was a moment in this episode where I thought that too.
Right, and I think that's addressed in that they talk about that the nanites, they decay you and give you any disease. So they give you disease or decay, and that's how they torture you. Is that they don't necessarily. So the bodies that we found in the infirmary, they had a lot of decay and blood everywhere, and they kind of looked like zombies.
You know what's even more terrifying? Is that the guy who jumped out of the airlock was probably still alive until that ship exploded.
Maybe.
He was probably floating through space, being continuously repaired and disintegrated.
Well, I mean, so what we understand from the nanites is that they can repair anything but brain damage.
Yeah.
Or but brain...
Well, I guess he would have lost his brain function
dead,
when he
that's
suffocated.
what it was. Yeah, so I feel like they would have been, as we saw with Dutch, they would have constantly been repairing, but I think at some point there would have been brain death.
I also think in the vacuum of space, they probably are too cold to operate.
After a
efficiently.
certain point.
Yeah, and also just like, because they can't keep his body warm like that necessarily. Like this isn't like it's real cold outside. There's no heat out there.
Fun fact: scientists have kind of narrated or discovered that a human body could hypothetically survive for 90 seconds in the vacuum of space.
Well, I mean, what Johnny says is that your blood is boiling from the inside while your skin is freezing. So the nanites are dealing with both of those. That's what Johnny said when Dutch jumped out.
Yeah, your blood boils because as you get higher, the less the pressure there is, the lower the boiling point of water. So basically, when you get above the Earth's atmosphere, the boiling point of water is lower than your body temperature.
I see.
And the water, your blood boils because of your your own body heat. I did want to say one more prediction about D'Avin.
Okay.
I think what would be interesting is that he's actually a cell, like a sleeper cell. You guys have seen, Zach, you're getting a little out of frame. Come over towards me. You guys have all seen, what is that movie? Total Recall?
Yeah.
Total Recall, not the terrible one, the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I've seen both.
Okay. Total Recall, basically, he thinks he's living some sort of double life, but then he discovers in the end.
Yeah.
I mean, spoiler alert, guys, this movie's been out since the 80s.
Also, there's a remake.
He discovers in the end that he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
And basically, he changed himself and changed his memories so he'd think he's a good guy so he could get through this thing and then come out on top, and then they would reinsert the bad guy back into him and be fine. I feel like D'Avin's the same way. I feel like D'Avin went through the surgery voluntarily
Right.
after his mission to kill his squad and complete the mission was complete.
Interesting.
So he voluntarily killed his squad. He did it because he was
interesting.
already working against the military. He had to take out a target. He did that voluntarily. He was undercover. And then to prevent himself from being discovered and to prevent himself from being the bad guy or maybe putting himself in a new position, going into another cover, they had to block the memories. So now he's a killjoy working for the same people he was before.
So I think...
Interesting.
Because he was gone for 8 years.
Right.
It was a little too easy for Johnny to find his brother after 8 years him being missing.
He was found because of the warrant, and he was under a fake name.
But why was there a warrant on him?
Right, which is an interesting question. I think I think for sure he went through. It's going to reveal that he went through the surgery himself, or that he chose to go through the surgery. I totally think that's what's going to happen. But I don't think that he was down with the killing of his squad.
Let me put it to you another way. All right. So this guy's cover. It makes sense if he might be one of the Red 17, whatever.
Right.
I don't think he was from birth, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so he kills everyone in the squad, right? Mm-hmm. And now they need him to become a killjoy.
Yeah.
So how do they do that? They get him cleared for service from this doctor, Pym. Pym gets him cleared that he has amnesia. He doesn't remember why.
Dr. Yeager.
Dr. Yeager. He has amnesia. He doesn't remember why he killed the squad, or he can't even admit to it, because if they interrogated him, he can't rightly say that he perfectly killed the squad because all the memories are blocked. So even in interrogation, they know that he doesn't know. All right. How do we get him to be a killjoy? If we need to infiltrate the killjoy ranks, how do we make this guy a killjoy? Okay, his brother's a killjoy.
Have his brother find
Let's
him.
put a warrant out for somebody whose brother is a killjoy. They're going to make him want to get him. We already know he has the skills.
I totally get what you're saying. I think that is such a complicated master plan, and if that's it, then bravo for such a complicated master plan.
It's something if you reveal it like in just the right pace.
Yeah, we need to see that at the end of season 1.
Right.
That can't be like a random episode in season 1. That needs to be the hook that brings us back for season 2.
Yeah, but before we get into actual prediction section, we have so much still to talk about. So Davin reveals, as we know, that he killed his whole crew. He doesn't remember the mission that he was on to begin with, which is kind of similar to Hogan's situation with the Red 17. They have no idea what they're looking for. You know, Hogan reveals that they're looking for Red 17 or info on it, but he doesn't know what it is. And then we see the brain scan with Dr. Jaegerbombs, and we have the memory blockers. And it seems that he doesn't, it's not that he doesn't want to remember, which is what she initially thought. He doesn't have PTSD. He has these memory blockers.
Yeah, just to be clear, that's not Dr. Yeager. We haven't found Dr. Yeager.
You're right. Sorry. This is Dr. Potter.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is the hot
apologies.
Dr. Potter.
Yeah.
Dr. Hotter.
Hot Potter.
Hotter with it's P-A-W-T.
Hot Potter.
It's powder.
I don't care how you spell it.
I think it's ridiculous.
She's hot.
Two weird names getting together. Great.
So she also tells Davin that he seems different, which is something I also think that's a setup for something for sure, not just the sex. But it goes, you seem different, and he goes, better, different, or worse? She goes, let's find out. And then, as Zach would say, boom, sex.
Yes, right there.
That's what Zach always says.
Yeah, that's how it
Boom,
happened.
sex.
It's just like they're there, they're hanging out, and all of a sudden, boom.
Sex.
Yeah.
Sex.
I would like to point out a continuity error because it really bothered me. The first shot of her in her underwear, she's wearing lacy underwear.
Oh, I noticed that.
And then he
I
lifts
thought
her up.
there was something off.
And he lifts her up, and she's wearing cotton panties.
She looked so sexy in the first one, and the second one, I'm like, what?
And then it goes back to, I couldn't tell what the other one was.
Then it just went to like thigh high.
Yeah, the
lace.
thigh high lace.
I guess pickup.
leggings. Right.
I guess pickup shots.
Yeah. Guys, continuity. You think we're not going to notice her underwear? Please.
I was just surprised by how fast her pants were gone.
Her skirt?
Good job, Davin.
Yeah, I mean, because he was pulling her shirt, and then all of a sudden she's in her underwear, and she's wearing thigh-high tights, which is
Look,
amazing.
Davin works quick.
Yeah. Hopefully not too quick.
Hello, nurse.
Let's talk about it. She's a doctor.
Hello, nurse.
Yeah, do not
She is a
belittle
doctor.
her.
Yeah, please. She has a degree. All right, let's talk about Dutch and Klein, because that's where we end up. Klein has broken into Lucy again, and he brings her the hand of the guy that she was supposed to kill. And he points out to her that he wasn't gonna buy that. And she was like, I didn't think you would. That was a message. And here's another one. Get out. And then he says that she's becoming weak and vulnerable because of Johnny. And I gotta say, as much as I don't like Klein and whatever he wants from her, he's right. You know, when you care about someone, you're now vulnerable.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's her little brother. Like, yeah, she's going to go out of her way. She's going to act not necessarily in her best self-interest.
Right.
Because of Johnny. And that's called being a human being.
Right.
But
which is not what Klein wants from
exactly.
her. And then
He wants a sexy killing machine.
I mean, don't we all? And then she says, don't even look at him. And his response is the most creepy, disturbing thing in the world.
I'll do more than look at him.
He says, oh, little bird, if I have to, I could do so much worse than just look. It's a little...
He does have a faux hawk.
Comfortable. I mean, it's kind of a dirty thing to say, but also creepy.
I mean, he wants to be creepy. He's trying to give her shudders.
Yeah, but he also, it's a little dirty.
It's totally dirty.
I liked
He's
it.
a dirty old man. What do you want?
I know.
I liked how, okay, so the song we played at the beginning of the show is a song called Native Skin.
Yeah.
The song playing right now is Get Outside Your, they're singing Get Outside of Your Native Skin.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because you have her who is outside of her comfort zone about to go with Klein and kill these people to save her friends.
Right.
And then you have the other guy who is literally getting out of his native skin when he's regrowing and stuff, and then he's
Hogan?
undressing her, which is her native skin. Davin was, his native skin was being disintegrated, and then you go to her and he's taking off her native skin. They're getting naked.
I see what you're going for
It
there.
was a reach, but I wanted to start the show with it.
It was a real big reach.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so Klein tells Dutch to get her things were going, and she goes with him.
Yeah, because she doesn't want Johnny to die. But look how
Klein.
much she knows about Johnny. It almost seems like he was the one who put the warrant out on his brother, so he'd become a killer. I don't know. I was just making.
You're so funny.
I mean, it's really a good question of like, where is the like? There is a conspiracy behind whatever's going on with Davin.
Yeah.
Did Davin put out the warrant on himself?
I doubt it.
Did he put a warrant out on himself, then memory block him like himself,
yeah, I see.
and then so it's like part of a big plan where he's using himself as a pawn.
What a
but
good-
can't even remember. I love the memory, like the Total Recall thing, because
Yeah.
it's somebody is blocking him.
Right.
Who is the last person you would expect? It is himself, like blocking himself.
What if Klein is Johnny and Davin's father?
Oh. My head hurts.
They never
So-
really suggested that they didn't know their father.
Yeah, but they've never seen Klein.
They've never seen Klein.
That's true.
Oh, this is so mind-blowing.
Because if that was the case, then it would make so much sense for Davin to get close. For him to not threaten Davin, he threatens Johnny.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
Well,
That
alright.
seems like a leap for me.
Let's, because
But-
we're already there and we've been there all episode. Let's head into predictions officially.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, so here's what we have for the next episode. So there's a guy, Big Joe, that Dutch and Joe they go way back. Johnny thinks that Dutch is helping Joe without the team so that they're not involved with whatever it is. But then it seems that Klein wants a device and wants Dutch to get the device from Big Joe without her team. And then she says, "You expect me to work against my own team?" Which makes it seem like, so what we've got is there's this guy, Big Joe, and he's got some device. And so Davin and Johnny are trying to save Joe while Dutch is being forced to either kill him or just take his whatever.
Like, for whatever reason, they're both going after the same device. Like,
Yeah, and they're on opposite sides.
she's going to find out that... I mean, sorry, not she's going to find out. She's going to go with Klein
Yeah.
to get this device. He's going to tell her it's one thing. Johnny and Davin are going to know that it's something far, far worse than that. And they're going to try to get the device back. And she will learn that the device is much, much worse than what Klein has told her when they finally come face to face.
Do you think that Johnny and Davin will come face to face and see that Dutch
No.
is doing something against them? Not
No, that's
necessarily.
what I'm saying is Johnny and Davin are going to be going after this device because they find out that somebody's after it. They find out that it's really terrible, that maybe it's like a weapon of mass destruction.
Okay.
Klein's going to downplay it.
Right.
And tell her that it's something like a bomb or something, just some small bomb that we need to get away
Yeah.
from this guy. They're both sides are going to go after it.
Mm-hmm.
And towards the end, we're going to have Klein distracted while Dutch and Davin or Johnny meet up. Dutch finds out what it really is, and they come up with this plan to destroy it instead of giving it to Klein.
I don't think it's going to be a weapon of mass destruction. We already did that plot line in episode 2 or 3 or whatever that was. I think it's 2. But I think it's going to be less about the device. Maybe it has some secrets on it, whatever it is. Like, it could be as simple as like a hard drive, effectively. Because that's just, even though we've already done that, like it's an easy thing to just like give them a target.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to just really focus on the fact that they're working against each other for this warrant. Like, maybe Davin and Johnny, like, while Dutch is off, they're like, well, we got time. Like, we can pick up this level 2 warrant or whatever, level 3 warrant, might as well. And then they're like, Dutch, what you doing here?
I think
they start talking like that.
I think that's gonna be weird.
They have to come face to face, and Johnny has to realize that Dutch is involved in something.
So here's what I think. I think that a little bit with what Zach is saying, Dutch is gonna go off and say, I have to handle something or whatever, and Johnny is gonna see this warrant and say, oh, somebody's trying to steal this thing from Big Joe. He's a friend of Dutch's. They go way back. We should handle this while she's off. So they're going to go and try to do whatever. I think that Dutch is going to have to try to steal whatever this thing is without getting seen. And I think we're going to get one of those like real close calls. They think they see her, but they aren't sure they see her. And I really don't believe we're going to see them come face to face with her in this episode. I would be pleasantly surprised if they do.
I think. Yeah, I think you're right. That makes sense.
Because that would be amazing, but it would really open up a can of worms that I don't think we're ready to open. I mean, I don't think the story is going to open, even though I would like us to.
I'm going to make a prediction for end of season. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say that at the end of the season, we find out that Davin was infiltrating them for a reason, and that Davin's going to destroy Lucy.
Why would you destroy Lucy?
Because you need something to drive the brothers apart. Because otherwise Johnny's going to spend the first half of season 2 just in disbelief, as opposed to being like, we need to get him.
I don't think he's going to destroy Lucy, but I would buy that he would very seriously damage the ship.
I think he'll blow up the ship, and we'll find out that that Lucy's AI is saved somewhere, but not dead.
Yeah, yeah. I think opening up a season 2 on Johnny rebuilding Lucy, like putting the ship back together, or like putting her into like a new, like, hey, we got a higher budget for season 2 ship.
They'll act like she's dead at the end of season 1, and then in season 2 we'll find out that he still had her AI.
Yeah,
and then he's gonna put her in a female robot.
And then we're going to have literally Mass Effect with Joker and the ship and that. I think that's the show.
That's a great show, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. As you know, we are here Sundays at 6 p.m. I'm here with my lovely co-host. Why don't you let them know where they can find you during the week?
You guys can follow me on Twitter at @ZachWilson, ThatzachWilson, and also tomorrow night for the Strain review with Mr. Stephen Mew over here, and for Dominion. Awesome. Be sure to tune in, not this week, but next week, showrunner and creator Vaughn Wilmot will be joining us in studio for episode 3 of Dominion.
No, he will not.
Tell them where they can find you, Steven.
You can find me on Twitter at YellTeagle. That's YaelTygiel, and at YellTV. And be sure to check me out on all my other after shows here at AfterBuzz TV.
That's awesome. And I'm sure you want to follow Stephen Lemieux. I can't spell Lemieux, but Stephen Lemieux. Spell it, Stephen.
STPHENLEMIEUX. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
'Tis all.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.